Yes. My about page is so they're two different things, but my about page was like, I'm just gonna tell you who I am. I'm gonna be funny about it. And then I'm gonna tell you I set rules for myself just in business. And I have those rules in there. They're based off the Wildy Coyote Roadrunner rules. I call Roadrunner rules from Chuck Jones. And and then I have products that I use. I'm not saying I recommend them, just that's what I use. And then I created this timeline, which the timeline people are very like, this is it just it's one of those things that like you mentioned authenticity earlier. I heard that before and I'm like, I'm just gonna do that. That is so the easiest freaking thing to do. And honesty is something I practiced in life. So why would I lie on the internet? It doesn't make any sense. And so I was like, I kept reading these sort of where these ideas come from is the zeitgeist of the world that we operate in. And you hear like, I wasn't successful overnight. It took me years to get this, but you only see, and everyone's like, don't listen to these gurus. Like they didn't get successful overnight. Like, and I always had this idea for a book, like, you know, it was like my biography that I'll never write called like an overnight success, 14 years that took or 17 years to whatever, like or 17-year overnight success or something like that. And so I was like, okay, well, let's show people how long it really took and how many mistakes and how many like derailments that it really took to get where I am today instead of saying that like, hey, you come on the Money Lab. Wow, he's got Swim University, he's got Money Lab, he's got Brew Cabin. Like this guy wow, I want that life too.
He didn't even go to
He didn't
college.
even go to college. How can this be done? You got 20 years? This is how it's done. Exactly how I did it. And so, yeah, I found this timeline like code that I liked and I was like, okay, I'm just going to kind of put down all of the really stupid things that I did and make it funny and make it like, hey, I remember I joined a community and I got hit by Panda here and I bought this book about AdSense and I started this social network for dogs and I, had a rock band that failed after 4 years because I wanted to really be a rock star and not an affiliate marketer. And, like I just kind of bounced back and forth like, oh, and then I had this and I made my first $100 a month. And then I got, hit with this thing. And it was just like, and it's more of like entertainment for sure, but it also points out that, and if anybody ever asked me, it's like, oh, how long does this take? How long, or because I don't, the thing is like, what I want Money Lab to be is a place that kind of like, and this is what from the very beginning of it, I don't want, and not to discriminate, I don't want newbies on my site thinking that they can be me. They can make the same amount of money that I'm making on these experiments because I have a list of, people. I have like these assets that I've been building over time. And the way that I sort of filter those people out is by creating content that's sort of like a little bit, no, I don't want to say over their head because it's not, but it kind of just really just gives you the reality of it. I've had people who bought the affiliate marketing course and return it because they're like, too many steps. And I'm like, oh, you thought this shit was easy. Well, I don't even know how you found me, but if you know anything about me or you know my brand, you know that like when I do an experiment, like I talk about how much it sucks. And the thing that I really dislike about online entrepreneurship, especially when I shouldn't say that guru-ness or, I call it hero worship, where it's like you look at these people like Pat Flynn, like somebody that I had looked up to when I first started too, like Corbett Barr from Fizzle. Like these are people that, I found them and I was like, cool, that's a good life. And I read the 4 Hour Work Week like everyone else. It's like, I like a lot of ideas here. Do I worship any of those people? Absolutely not. Like they're human like I am. But everyone just like kind of looks up to them and says like, I want to do what they do. And they will say, they'll go on and I don't want to point out Pat or anybody in particular, but they tend to go on the internet, try something, fail, and then talk about what they've learned and spin it into a positive. It's like, oh, I did this thing and I don't have any regrets because you know what I learned? I learned that what's important in life is blah, 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 blah. And I hate that. Just tell me that what you did, you fucked up and it sucked. The whole thing was horrible and you wish you didn't do it. Be that guy because that's what you're really thinking. But for your audience, you're trying to spin it into a positive because you don't want to look like a fool. You don't want to look like somebody who did the wrong thing. And I am telling you, like, this podcasting experiment, I'm pretty sure I'm doing the wrong thing. Like, I already know I'm doing the wrong thing. But what if I do the right thing? But what if I do what if I say it's wrong now, I do it, and then and then I am wrong, and I go, you know what? That sucked. Instead of going like, but I got 1 or 2 sales. It was pretty good. No, it wasn't good. That's not good. It's not success. That's stupid. Like just say it sucks. Say you messed up. Say you chose something. But again, like I can use it as content. I can say, okay, well, I did this, didn't work. Shut it down. Like it's like, and just be honest that like you could try it, but I wouldn't recommend it.
Sure.
And I also try to on Money Lab extrapolate myself from recommending or giving advice to anyone. Because I have this like blanket statement in my head when people email me and they're like, hey, I had this idea for blank. What do you think? And I go, I don't know. Try it. Let me know how it turns out. That's my 3 sentences that I send to people who ask me questions like that because the truth is I don't know. Like, I don't know. I mean, so, everyone says like, oh, Swim University, what a perfect niche you chose. I'm like, I didn't choose it. I didn't choose that niche. I was 13 years old and my friend's neighbor worked at this local pool store and she's like, do you kids want jobs? Because I have jobs at this pool store. And we're like, yeah, pools. I don't know. And I stuck with it, and it's like pools chose me, not the other way around,
Right on.
So, it's like I didn't go and like, you walk around the house and you like write down like, what am I interested in? What do I have in my house? Like, oh, I have an elliptical machine. Like, I'm going to start an elliptical blog. It's like, oh my God, like, no. Awful. It's an awful way to start something.